So in an attempt to feel out consumer sentiment, consumer demand in my own area, of course, we had to go to the mall today and see the insanity that Boxing Day had to offer. Now, so many people are talking about this recession on the order of magnitude of what could be the likes of 2009 and over 50% correction in housing. This is what I'm hearing.
In 2023, at least a light to moderate recession, potentially on the order of 2009.
And we're going to discuss more about this in a second, but that was not what I saw at the mall today. In fact, before I show you some of this footage, you guys might recall there was a lot of people talking about, Black Friday. And during the Black Friday sales, malls weren't really that jammed. There was a lot of people lined out of more necessity-based stores or looking for better deals on phone and internet plans and things they needed. And a lot of people were concerned that there just wasn't the demand there like we've seen in past holiday events, but that could coincide with perhaps some Cyber Monday or online shopping. But nonetheless, here we are on Boxing Day. And when we went to the mall, and I am somebody that goes to the mall all winter because we like to go for walks. It's a great place to get exercise and just move around. And I have never seen it the likes of this. Just getting into the parking lot alone. There is no parking around the entire mall. So us being a little craftier, we're like, hey, best to park across the street and getting stuck in this calamity. So we did, and we ended up coming in through the Hudson Bay where everyone's honking and yelling at each other. And we finally get in, and the first thing we got to do, of course, is screw with the dummies. Got to give the dummies some fun fingers up here just because it's something to do while we're going through the mall just messing around. But then we get in here, guys, and oh my God. Shoulder to shoulder packed across the wall. Doesn't matter where you look, there's people seemingly spending money. I ended up going into Best Buy to kind of gauge out the TV sales because there's wall-to-wall TVs and a lot of products still floating around. I noticed cameras were sold out. There was a lot of niche items that were off the shelves, but TVs on large were still all over the place. Yet I asked the lady there and she said, hey, TVs are still selling. TVs are still moving. She's like, there's a lot of people buying them here today. And I was like, okay, well, that's kind of impressive, but that's just one clerk's opinion. So who actually knows? But nonetheless, taking a look at the Apple Store, shoulder to shoulder packed and just people against the walls. And I don't know if this is necessity-based shopping, people looking for those last-minute deals, or people like me that were just saying, hey, I think there's going to be more deals after Christmas than during Christmas because it doesn't look like inventory is moving. So I started taking a look at videos across other malls in Ontario, and every single one is experiencing something very similar. This is just unreal. I've never seen anything like this for this entire year, which leads me to this setup idea of how strong truly are consumers, because I'm having a hard time through this year trusting places like CNBC when the likes of Kevin O'Leary have been feeding us the idea of investing in crypto and what a great idea that was. What a great idea it was. And now, nonetheless, here, just taking a look moving forward, we have all these huge influencers saying things like this.
The millennials are going to kiss the ground when this happens, what I'm saying, because real estate will go back down to 2008 to 2012 level.
And so we're going to have the combination of a massive recession or depression with a financial crisis and rising inflation. So my advice is to your viewers is to tune out all the noise, and you better invest as if the Fed is going to fail.
It does seem like we're headed into a recession here in 2023, at least a light to moderate recession, potentially on the order of 2009.
Now, you can't gauge the economy off my personal spending. It'd be impossible because I'm the most frugal bugger under the sun. I don't spend money on anything, and I bum everything I possibly can to save money and try and get ahead in this extremely expensive world that I live around. But nonetheless, I'm one of those people that's also praying that I wouldn't mind seeing a 50% correction in real estate, but the devastation that could cause would be in the order of magnitude, I would agree, of 2009. But the real question is, do we even reach that level? It's so hard to gauge out if that's what we're going to see. I don't know. I really just don't know. So the only thing I can do is prepare myself for both situations, which is something I've been advising on this channel here, guys, which is having cash, just having a nice chunk of an emergency fund and investable cash in case we do see a recession or some kind of emergency like financial event throughout the entire economic situation for the next 4 to 12 quarters. But this is what they've been saying all through this year, and we just haven't seen it yet, right? We've seen some mild corrections, a 20% drop in the S&P. I mean, that's not necessarily the end of the entire financial markets as we know it. It's not the Great Depression that Peter Schiff has been calling on for the last decade. All I can do here is stack up about, maybe 5 to 10% cash of my entire portfolio, which to me is probably a little more than you, or maybe it's a lot less than you, depending on your financial situation. But you can't uninvest in this market. You can't have all of your assets in cash. You can't be flipping your real estate, which is very hard where I live right now. I wouldn't advise doing any major real estate deals yet, unless you're buying and you're really looking for people that can't afford those mortgage rates. And it's crazy to think that, are we really going to see this style of recession from a 4% interest increase? I mean, this isn't like a massive interest increase on the market. Some people are going to get squeezed, absolutely. But is that enough to calamitize the entire markets in Canada here? A small percentage of mortgages are variable rates. And most people have 5, 10, 15 plus year mortgages, and they have plenty of time to let this market cycle ride itself out and see a decrease in interest rates. And honestly, if we start seeing seams crack, if jobs market starts to get hit, unemployment, we know they're going to cut the interest rates right away. I just don't know any more than you do, I think. And I want to know what you think, because I don't think anybody on CNBC and all these big figure talking billionaire heads actually know any more than we do. So tell me how you've been experiencing this market and what you think is going to happen in 2023.